The late afternoon sun dipped behind the skyline of New York City, spilling golden light across Central Park. Children laughed near the fountains, joggers passed by, and the scent of roasted nuts floated in the air. Amidst this beauty, Daniel Carter, a retired U.S. Army veteran and single father, sat quietly on a wooden bench, his old leather jacket resting over tired shoulders. Life had not been kind to Daniel. After losing his wife, Emily, to cancer 3 years earlier, he devoted his life to raising his daughter, Lily, who was now 12. The war had left him with memories he didn't speak about, nights when silence was too loud, and mornings when hope seemed far away. That day, as traffic hummed beyond the park and buses rolled past the gates, Daniel noticed a young man sitting on the nearby grass, surrounded by open books. His clothes were simple, but his eyes held determination. He looked no older than 19. Every few minutes, he scribbled notes, then sighed deeply, staring at his phone screen with worry. Daniel watched him for a while before walking closer. "Hey, son, you look like you're fighting a war of your own," Daniel said with a faint smile. The boy looked up, startled, then returned the smile politely. "I guess I am, sir. I'm Ethan Parker, trying to finish my college applications, but I just got an email." He paused, voice trembling. "My scholarship request was denied. Without it, I can't afford the fees." Daniel's heart sank. He remembered his own youth dreams crushed by bills, battles fought alone. "You're a bright kid. You shouldn't give up because of money," he said gently. Ethan nodded, brushing a tear away quickly. "I work nights at a diner, sir. But my mom's sick, and rent's due next week. I don't know what to do anymore." The wind blew softly, carrying the laughter of strangers who didn't know this young man's pain. Daniel placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. "You'll find a way. Sometimes help comes from places we least expect." They spoke for hours, as the city lights began to sparkle. Daniel shared stories of his time in the army, of courage and loss, of the kindness that once saved his own life overseas. By the time they parted, Ethan felt a strange warmth. A stranger had given him hope again. As Daniel watched Ethan walk away, a thought echoed in his heart: maybe this is the reason I met him today. That night, as rain tapped against his small apartment window, Daniel sat by his daughter's bed. Lily was asleep, her small hand resting on a teddy bear. Daniel whispered, "Maybe it's time we help someone who reminds me of myself." He opened his laptop, searched the college's website, and found Ethan's application. The next morning, he made a quiet decision that would soon change two lives forever. The next morning broke soft and golden over Brooklyn Heights. The traffic below Daniel's apartment buzzed with life, buses honking, car tires splashing through the wet streets, the aroma of coffee drifting from a nearby cafe. Daniel sipped his black coffee, staring out the window, deep in thought. His bank account wasn't impressive, just enough for rent, Lily's school, and groceries. But in his heart, a small voice whispered, "What if this is the act of kindness I was meant to give?" After dropping Lily at school, Daniel took the subway into Manhattan. The city was alive. Tall glass buildings glittered, heavy trucks rolled past, and the noise of the morning rush filled every street. He walked into Hudson Community College, where Ethan had applied. Inside the admissions office, he spoke softly to the woman behind the counter. "I want to cover a student's tuition," anonymously, Daniel said, handing her a folded paper with Ethan's name on it. The woman looked surprised. "That's incredibly kind of you, sir. Are you family?" Daniel shook his head with a quiet smile. "Just someone who believes in second chances." He walked out into the city rain, feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Peace. Meanwhile, Ethan was at the diner where he worked evenings, wiping tables and trying to hide his disappointment. He replayed the scholarship rejection in his head, over and over. Every sound of the street outside, buses braking, people laughing, felt distant. But the next morning, when he opened his email, his heart stopped. "Congratulations. Your tuition has been fully funded by a private donor." Ethan stared at the screen, trembling. "What? No way," he shouted out loud, earning surprised looks from his coworkers. He stepped outside, into the sunshine, and for the first time in months, he smiled freely. He wanted to find out who had done it, but the college refused to reveal the donor's name. "They wanted to remain anonymous," the clerk said kindly. Weeks passed. Ethan threw himself into his studies with new passion. He studied in Central Park again, the same place where he had met Daniel. Sometimes he saw Daniel from afar, walking hand in hand with his little daughter, feeding the pigeons near the pond. Ethan waved, and Daniel waved back, smiling knowingly, a silent bond between two souls who understood struggle. One evening, as autumn leaves began to fall, Daniel and Lily were walking near Times Square, lights flashing and taxis rushing past. Lily tugged on her father's hand and asked, "Daddy, why did we send money to that college?" Daniel paused, looking at her innocent face. "Because sometimes, sweetheart, helping someone find their dream can heal our own hearts." Lily smiled. "Like how people helped you after Mommy went to heaven." Daniel's eyes softened. "Exactly like that." As they crossed the busy road, Daniel realized his act of kindness wasn't just helping Ethan. It was helping him rebuild faith in humanity, one small step at a time. What he didn't know was that fate had one more surprise waiting, a meeting that would reveal the truth in a way he never expected. Winter came early that year. The trees of Central Park stood bare, dusted with snow. People hurried through the cold, scarves fluttering, the city glowing under 1,000 Christmas lights. Ethan was now a proud college sophomore, doing well in his classes and tutoring other students to earn a little money. But one thought still haunted him: the unknown person who had paid his fees. Every time he walked through the park, he thought of Daniel, the kind veteran with tired eyes and a gentle smile. One snowy afternoon, Ethan saw him again sitting on the same bench, feeding crumbs to the pigeons while Lily giggled beside him. Without thinking, Ethan ran toward them. "Mr. Carter," he called out. Daniel looked up, surprised, then smiled warmly. "Ethan, how's college treating you?" "It's amazing," Ethan said, sitting beside him. His voice trembled. "But there's something I've been dying to ask. Someone paid my tuition, a complete stranger. I can't sleep without knowing who it was." Daniel's gaze drifted to the lake, where ducks floated peacefully beneath the gray sky. After a long silence, he spoke softly. "Sometimes, son, kindness doesn't need a name. It's meant to be passed on, not paid back." Ethan's eyes filled with tears. "It was you, wasn't it?" Daniel didn't answer, he just smiled, eyes glistening. "You remind me of myself when I was young. And someone once helped me when I had nothing. I'm only returning the favor." Ethan's voice broke. "I don't know how to thank you." Daniel patted his shoulder gently. "Live a good life. Be kind when no one's watching. That's thanks enough." They sat quietly, watching the city breathe. Buses rolling by, the laughter of children echoing across the snow, and the faint sound of carolers singing in the distance. Weeks later, Daniel received a letter in the mail. It was from Ethan. Inside was a photograph of Ethan wearing his graduation cap and holding a sign that read, "Because of you, I made it." Beneath it, Ethan had written, "Greater than, when I become successful, I'll help others the same way you helped me. Your kindness will never end, it will live through me." Tears rolled down Daniel's cheeks. Lily hugged him and whispered, "Daddy, see. Mommy would be proud." He nodded, looking out the window at the quiet city street glowing under streetlights. Snowflakes drifted down like tiny blessings. For the first time in years, Daniel felt whole again, his heart, once heavy with loss, now filled with light. Kindness had come full circle. Months passed, and Ethan graduated with honors. He started a community scholarship for struggling students and named it the Carter Fund, in memory of the man who believed in him. In a world rushing with noise, traffic, and endless worry, one single act of kindness had changed not just a life, but a legacy. Dear viewers, if this story touched your heart, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness Quest, to spread more real stories of love, hope, and humanity. Let's make the world a little brighter, one act of kindness at a time. Sparkling Heart.